Hi guys, welcome to today's video. I created this look. I'm gonna give you the short version. You guys liked my IG reels where I just did creams and it was literally just concealer and foundation on my face. And you guys were like, what is this sorcery? So I figured I'll do a full face of just cream products tutorial for you guys. Yes, everything on my face are all cream based products. And the lippy is a custom shade that I mix. If you're new to my channel and you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell. That way YouTube lets you know every single time I upload a brand new video. Also, if you do not mind, please click the like button. It really helps my channel out. And go follow me on Instagram so that you can see more of like my IG reels and get to know me a little more on the personal level, since I usually go on my stories and share like personal stuff. Okay, so let's move on to the tutorial so that I can show you how I created this look with just cream products. All right, I've got everything that I need. I think that we are ready. The first item I'm gonna use is the SOS primer. It is by Clarins. It is their highlights complexion with an amber glow. It's their amber primer. I love it because it has a little bit of a pump situation. This is what it looks like once you blend it into the skin. It's beautiful. I also really like that it hydrates the skin slightly. I don't have oily skin and I don't have really dry skin either. So for me, something that's not super hydrating is usually okay. All right, we pulled all that hair back because it is like getting in the way and it's getting hot up in here. For foundation, I'm gonna use the Benefit Cosmetics Hello Happy Foundation. This is their Hello Happy Air Stick Foundation in the shade number 6. This is as close, like the stick foundations are as close as we're gonna get to creams in my house, solely because I don't have any like potted cream foundations. It's either sticks or it's liquid, and this is technically a cream in a stick form, so I'm getting away with it. As per usual, I am using my beauty sponge to blend out. You already know the drill up in this channel. I am a sponge girl, not a brush girl. Now, of course, there's different ways you can go about contouring, highlighting, and all that good stuff. You can either apply it bare face, like primer, contour, highlight, conceal, then apply your foundation over it and it leaves a beautiful finish. Or you can do it the way I'm doing it, where I did my primer, I did my foundation, I will apply my concealer and then my contour. In whichever order you choose to apply it, you're still gonna get a beautiful and radiant finish. I've done it. Trust me. For concealer, I'm gonna use Ofra's Corrector Wheel in the shade Deep. And the reason why it's deep is because it has like for tan and deeper skin tones, like medium and deeper skin tones, I tend to mix these two together. And the reason why I tend to mix the two is because this one's more on like on the peachy side, so it works for my under eyes, but I like to go a little lighter. So I tend to mix the two and I'll apply it right here. I bring it all the way up into this corner because it tends to brighten the eye and make it look like wider, bigger, more awake. I'm applying some concealer on the outer corner at an angle that's just gonna help lift my eye a little bit more. Before I jump into blending, I want to kind of sculpt my face and bronze it up a little bit. So I'm going to use the Nude Sticks Nudes Tinted Blur Stick. This one is in the shade Deep 8. I could definitely go a little deeper, but I like this shade because it gives you like that very natural bronze contoured look. It doesn't look overly sculpted or heavily done. So I tend to go along the edges of my forehead. I try to skip the middle because you have enough on the side. So once you blend it out, that's gonna get covered. So you're good to go. I apply a little bit here on the temple area. People forget that. And then once they powder their under eye, because I am gonna powder my under eyes, okay? Consider that cheating if you want to, but I do have to set my concealer. If I don't, girl, it starts to crease and it is a hot mess. But oftentimes people will set their concealer, bring it all the way out and forget to bronze this area, and it's just like it just looks way too harsh, and then there's a gap between your bronzer. It doesn't look very natural. So you always want to kind of get this area out here, and I'm gonna go along the sides and I go like this. See, I already know what my face shape is, so I don't normally have to do this anymore, but I used to. That's more than enough. I miss like my really profound cheekbones. I kind of miss them. And then I'm gonna go along my jawline. I'm not gonna contour my nose. Technically I could have, you know what, let's just do it. I'm gonna just do a little line over here and then here. There are people who tend to contour their lips too. I'm not going that far. I took a quick second and made sure I got my picture from my thumbnail. And then the very next step is I'm going to use my sponge. Yes, my sponge. And I'm gonna use the teardrop side, the pointy side. I'm gonna start off by blending the lighter shade. You always want to start off lighter. If you go on to the darker shade, blend that out. That's gonna cause an issue for you, because then when you go into the concealer area, it's literally gonna make it darker. And I personally like to go a little lighter in these areas. So I'm going to blend out, most makeup artists will tell you to blend out the lighter creams first and then work your way gradually to the darker. Part of the reason why I love using a sponge is because it doesn't make your makeup look super heavy. Whatever's extra, it's going to soak up just a little bit. It doesn't overdo it, but it picks up a little bit of that product. That way it doesn't look too much or overly done. I'm gonna flip this baby over and then I'm going to start blending. So I'm patting against my forehead and the perimeter of my face whatever bronzer or like contour I applied. I'm pouncing it on my skin because that's gonna give you a really nice blend. As you can see, look, mira que bonito, right? And see how like simple and flawless that was? I'm gonna pull my, I am so over these baby hairs, honestly, over them, okay? I know people love baby hairs, people want baby hairs, you can have mine, cause they're annoying. You see how sculpted this area here looks? For this portion of the contour, like the inner portion of the eye, and then the side of my nose, I also blend by tapping my beauty sponge against it, and I just move up and down. We're gonna do the very same thing to the cheekbone area. I'm not going like this, I'm not bringing it around in circles, just going back and forth. The sponge is wide enough to where it's just gonna blend it beautifully for you. So you're just gonna pounce back and forth just like so. This is gonna be the easiest way to get the perfect blend without having to work for it. And do not forget to blend that lower chin area, because if you don't, it's gonna look funky, girl. Same thing, just pounce back and forth. If you want to, you can totally do one of these and just bring it down, but you want it to be nice and light and radiant. I grabbed my Too Faced powder and a brush. This is a Luxie tapered highlighter. I'm tapping in, I'm tapping out, so most of the product that it picked up kind of goes away. Let's tap out a little extra just in case. And then I am going to set my lids and my under eyes very lightly. It doesn't matter whether you have dry skin or oily skin, you should still somewhat powder. It's gonna vary as to how much you're gonna powder though. So if you have extremely oily skin, then you really wanna go in and apply that powder so that the powder picks up whatever oils seep from your skin onto your makeup. That way it doesn't look like cakey or funky or anything like that. If you have dry skin, you wanna go in with the lightest amount of powder. You do not wanna bake, you do not wanna overdo it, because it's not gonna look pretty. As you can see, I did not dab into the powder again, and I'm just going into my T-zone area with whatever's left. And again, I tapped out as much as I could, but the T-zone area is the only area on my face that gets somewhat oily. And no, my face is not sticky or funny feeling or anything like that. And you guys know I cannot stand when my face feels like sticky. I don't even like sweating. You see, we still looking radiant, contoured, we look bronzed. We're not done though. I want to finish off like the face part first, then we'll do brows and eyes. For blush, I'm gonna use this product over here. I actually got it in a Korean beauty box, and the words I'm gonna assume are in Korean, so I wouldn't be able to tell you like the brand or anything, but look how pretty this shade is. So we're gonna go ahead and use her, of course. Beauty sponge, I'm turning it over. We're grabbing some of that blush. We're gonna tap it in place. Oh, I forgot how creamy and pigmented it is. When it comes to cream blushes, yes, they can be very pigmented. So if you kind of overdo it, it is perfectly fine to go on top of it with the butt part of your sponge. I call it the butt part. So say that you really overdo it and it's like super like bright or pink and you didn't want that, you can always turn your sponge over and diffuse how bright it is by applying whatever's left of the bronzer from your sponge to your skin right on top of it. Just tones it down a little bit. And for highlighter, I'm going to use the Kaja Roller Glow. It looks like this. I lost the roller. Then again, I found that the roller wasn't very helpful. But as you can see, it has like a little bit of a shift to it. Look how like in your face it is. So I tend to apply with a finger because it warms up the product and blends it onto your skin beautifully. All right, let's move on to the eyes. I'm gonna use a chunky pencil. This is the Laura Geller Kajal Longwear Eyeliner in Gilded Bronze. It is an eyeliner, however, it tends to be extremely waterproof. And once you apply it, it doesn't budge. It is a cream. Therefore, I'm going to just messily apply it on like the outer portion of the lid. I don't need it like all the way in the beginning because we're gonna apply another cream product. But I mainly just wanna create somewhat of a base out here, which is where I get a little on the oily side, and also use this as a transition shade. Instead of using bronzer, because bronzer is definitely gonna crease, and we can't have that. Yeah, I can't have any creasage going on up in here. So we're gonna go ahead and just messily blend that out. The thing about this product is it dries so fast. Ooh, that might have been a bit much. I should have been extra careful and not have gotten too excited talking here. All right, now that we have our crease transition shade, now we can dive into the actual lid color, and what I'm going to use is a Charlotte Tilbury. It's more of a cream shimmer pigment situation. The shade is Pillow Talk. I'm going to try to use the very same brush. I do have a flat synthetic brush just in case. Let's see how this one works. This is very like, it's more like a moussey, cushiony, almost kind of like the ColourPop mushy ones. Kind of like that. It's not necessarily it, but kind of. I'm applying that on the inner corner of the eyes, grabbing a little bit of the bottom portion of the inner corner, and then blending out across my lid. Using two cream products like this kind of gives you that very light and airy type of vibe. It looks really simple, but very pretty. For eyeliner, I'm gonna use Ofra Cosmetics Fixed Line Eyeliner in the shade Black. If you haven't seen my video, please disregard like what my skin looks like in that video. But the video is really about their liners, and I did a graphic look, girl. It was everything. I'm just gonna create a quick little wing over here. Look how pigmented and just creamy that is. That line was so effortless, it's still insane to me. If you guys are interested in any of Ofra's products, including the fixed line liners, the link is going to be in the description box, as well as a discount code you guys can use so that you don't have to pay full price for them. I moved ahead and applied some lashes just to kind of like, you know, spice it up a little bit. And then I want to keep the bottom of my eyes as simple as I possibly can. Again, we're going for like natural and glowy. So I'm going to go in with my Man Eater by Tarte mascara. And I am going to lightly apply a baby coat of mascara to my bottom lashes, just so that they can look a little polished and so that we can emphasize it so you can tell that I have lashes, but they don't look overly dramatic. Now for the brows, you guys know that I need to have a brow on. I'd rather have a brow than having eyeliner on my eyes. Honestly, I'd rather have a brow than having eyeshadow, and that says a lot. I'm gonna use the Brow Bar by Rima. They're like pomade in the shade Ebony, which when you hear it, you're like, oh, is it black? It's not. It's like the darkest brown you'll ever find. Their formula is really nice and super creamy also. But when it comes to like brow pomades, you do have to be somewhat careful because you can mess up really quickly, especially if like you're not used to using a pomade. So I'll dip my brush into the pomade, and then I'll go like this on the back of the cap, just so that whatever's excess, you can pick up most of it and remove it from the brush. That way it's like it doesn't glide and slip and slide everywhere. I will say their formula is really nice. It is very creamy, but not too wet. And I like the Brow Bar by Rima formula because to me, it is sweat resistant. I've been outside, I've gotten wet, and my brows have stayed intact. They haven't moved, they haven't smudged, and it hasn't faded at all whatsoever. Now all we have left are the lips. I'm going to use the Beauty For Real lip liner in the shade Neutral. As you can see, it is literally my lip color, but better. And then I'm gonna fill in my lips with, I'm gonna mix a few shades out of this palette. This is the Pixie and Louise Row palette. It is a lip blush palette. So I feel like I wanna go nudie, but not too nudie. So I think I'm gonna do this one up here, and I'm gonna mix it with probably this one over here. I like palettes like this solely because I get to customize the shade that I'll be wearing for the day. Now, I don't see myself using a palette like this on a day-to-day basis. However, look at that. I just created my very own shade, just mixing two colors together. It is super convenient. Actually, I think I like this. I'm gonna leave it here on the vanity. I think I will be using this a little more often than I automatically thought I would. And then of course you can finish this off with a setting spray of your choice. If you have really dry skin, I'm gonna suggest a hydrating or like a dewy finish type of setting spray. If you have normal combo skin, you might be able to get away with not wearing any setting spray. It really depends on how your makeup wears throughout the day. For instance, I'm normal combo and I can totally get away with not wearing any setting spray at all whatsoever. And this is not gonna get sticky, tacky, weird. It's not gonna shift on me or anything like that. I've done this so many times before. This is kind of like my go-to simple, easy, real natural glam and glowy type of makeup. So I know for a fact that I can get away with not using any setting spray. And then if you have really oily skin, I'd say yes, use a setting spray that's really gonna set it into place and kind of freeze everything in its place. However, I'm also gonna say carry a little bit of like a blotting papers or a powder that you can blot with, because remember, these are all creams. So depending on your skin type, you may need to blot throughout the day. All right, guys, and here is the completed look. Let me know down below, what do you guys think? Do you think that this is something that you can kind of wear on a day-to-day basis? This is something that you would only use on certain seasons throughout the year? I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts. Also, if you have any video suggestions, videos like tutorials and stuff like that that you guys want to see, make sure you let me know down below, because I'm looking for video ideas so that I can film more of the things that you guys want to see. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for choosing to spend a few minutes out of your day with me. It really means a lot. Make sure you check out the videos that are coming here on screen. There are more unboxings, tutorials, how-tos, and all that good stuff I know you guys are going to absolutely love. And I'll see you guys over there. Bye!